again, everyone. It's Brandy, and I'm back with another layout for the Shimmerz design team. I'm using the February kits and the February cut file. I've cut the cut file out 3 times, and I decided that I wanted to take the center pieces of the heart lollipop and do a little mixed media on them. So I started by covering all of them in gesso, and I'm just gonna go to town slapping some color on this. There's no right or wrong way to do it. It's fairly easy, and I'm just going to keep going and keep going until I get it exactly the way that I want it. The first color that I added was a Vibes in Think Pink. Next, I added Creamies in the color One Hot Mama. And then I added Shimmers in Buddy's favorite color. And oh my gosh, that color is so rich and deep and just, it's really beautiful. And it has like a hint of gold shimmers in it. It's so gorgeous. I'm also using a colorings in a bright fuchsia. And on a side note, I have to say, I love the way they name these colors. It's so clever. I don't know how they come up with it. Now, in that green bottle that I keep spraying, I just have water in there. I'm just adding it to it to kind of help the colors flow together just a little bit better, a little bit more easily. And that's also what the gesso is helping with. It keeps the color from just being absorbed into the paper, and it allows me to move it around just a little bit. Well, a lot of it actually, even though my paper is it's very wet. It's pretty wet right now. But the gesso is helping the color just kind of float around on top of the paper. So I'm going to keep working on this just a little bit. I don't know if you guys have had a chance yet to take a look at the February Shimmerz kit, but it is quintessential Valentine's Day. It is pink on pink, and I am here for it. They have also added a subscription service if that is something that you're interested in. It is a way to not even have to think about it. You know you love the products already, so you subscribe. You get to save 10% off of the kit each month, and you can pause the subscription or cancel it anytime. There's no obligation. It is going to automatically renew every month, but you can go in and pause it if you need to, or add stuff to the order if you need to. They've made it really, really easy for us not to have to think about it too much. And if you remember to add my name at the end of your order in the comment section, then they'll send you a free little paint. Okay, here I'm showing you that it's all dry. I had to use my heat gun because I was impatient and I want to work on it just a little bit more. But it was hard to tell, but I was trying to show you how shimmery it was already. So I'm just going to work on it a little bit more. That way I can add some layers to the color, but I needed it to dry before I could really get that depth of color that I was looking for. Y'all, it's so much fun just working with the color like that and mixing everything and blending it all together. And then when it gets dry, when it's finally dry, looking at just that final result, it's so much fun and very satisfying. And now I've decided that I want to take it a step further and add some glitter around the edge of my hearts. So I find some gold glitter that I've had in my stash forever and ever, and I outline the hearts very thinly with my glue. And by the way, I'm using Scotch tacky glue, I believe is what's in this fine liner, and it worked wonderfully for holding on to that glitter around the edge of the hearts. but I'm just smoothing it out a little bit more so that it's not lumpy and bumpy on the outside. And I want to just make that line as even and thin as I possibly can. And I do all three, but I don't think I'm going to show all three of them to you. I'm not going to make you watch that. And yes, I had glitter everywhere for days. Okay, now I have the hearts completed. Aren't they adorable? I love them. I love them so much. I'm a little nerd like that, I guess. But it was a fun process. It was very satisfying, and I'm in love with the end result. So I pull some thickers from my stash that have been there forever. These pink foam ones are circa 2010, and I've never even used them. And what better way to get them used up than creating a long title on your page? So I decided to go with I Have Loved You for 1,000 Years, which is a line from a song that Daniel and I both love. You guys are probably familiar with it, but it really encompasses everything about the way that we feel about each other. So I just thought that it was the perfect title to add to this page about how much I love that man. I'll give you guys a quick little history on us. We met at the end of 2018, and it was we were pretty instantly drawn to each other, and we had a wedding planned in St. Thomas at the beginning of 2020. And we all know what happened that year. About a week prior to the date that we had set, everything just fell apart. The hotel canceled, the wedding planner at St. Thomas canceled, and our flight canceled. And it was just a mess. I was completely heartbroken. But we just kind of waited it out and ended up getting married a year later in 21 at the end of February. So, yes, we do have our third wedding anniversary coming up, and it's always so exciting for me. We're actually a pretty mushy couple, so I could ramble on about it forever, but I will spare you guys any more details, and I digress. So, back to the layout. All of these adorable ephemera pieces, the cardstock pieces, come in the February kit. And so do these little dots. They're epoxy pieces that are popped up, but you don't have to leave them popped up if you don't want to. I believe that I chose to on this one. And I pulled out mostly the red, all of the red ephemera pieces, because I wanted them to just pop up off of that pink paper. I do a lot of scrapbooking on white paper, a lot on white cardstock, but recently I've been gravitating towards using the patterned paper for my background. I still love using white cardstock, but there's something about the patterned paper that just creates another layer of visual interest for me. So here I finally got all of the pieces placed where I want them, and I decided that I need a border. I need a border around all of my all of my layouts almost. It's pretty rare for me to complete a layout without a border, because I think I've said it before, but it just to me feels like everything's gonna fly off the page. I don't know if that makes sense to everybody, but in my brain, that's just the way it feels. And so I have to do it. So I pulled out here a stamp that just says the word love, and I just went all the way around. And I found another one with these little hearts to kind of decorate around the edges of the pieces, just to pull it all together. And here's the final results. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Have a lovely crafty day, and happy Valentine's Day. Bye-bye.